Hello, everybody. Full
Hello.
interest. Yeah, that's the name.
Yeah,
Uh, RWBY, season 5, episode 3. Whatever it was called.
it was. I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Um, so yeah, this is the follow up to basically the first episode bit for Blake, where Ilya's like, "Hey, your plan's not gonna work," and that doesn't seem to have actually borne out anything at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
Hmm. So we open the episode with uh, Gira, that's his name. Uh,
Hmm.
he's just sort of pacing and just sort of a little bit anxious because he's about to do public speaking, and even people that just regularly do that still get kind of anxious about it.
Yeah.
Um, and his wife and daughter are like supportive and hand on the shoulder or arm or whatever, and it's like, yeah, you got this. And then son just sort of wanders up and is just sort of you got this. And
Everybody just turns to look at him for just a moment and says nobody says anything, and then they just go on.
it's like, I'm not sure whether that was meant to just fuck with him, because this might be a bit of voice actor to character confusion, because I could see Michael Jones doing that absolutely and just absolutely be fucking with him. But son, it's harder to read. Um, yeah. So that was funny. Unintentionally so, perhaps, but also intentionally.
So, uh, big old cat man goes
Gira.
up. Big old cat man
Gira.
goes up. Big old cat. I'm gonna keep calling him that. Cat daddy. So, cat daddy goes
Could call
up
him the
and
Puma.
he goes up and he starts to deliver a speech to the gathered masses of, hey guys, so Adam is kind of trying to take over everything, and he's kind of a bad guy, and he kind of attacked Beacon, and we shouldn't really trust that guy. And like, I know he's really popular and all, but we should deal with that problem because we have a scroll which says he's going to overthrow Sienna Khan. He's going to essentially do a whole bunch of evil stuff, like attacking
Yeah.
Haven Academy.
Yeah. He was already responsible. We have determined that he was already responsible for the attack on Beacon Academy, which hurt pretty much everyone, human and Faunus. A
Yeah,
lot
and
of
it
both races died on that day because of his
and it's
actions.
extremely damaging to our reputation as a race.
Hmm.
So he's really kind of being counterproductive, and he's very selfish, and everything's for his own gain and not necessarily ours.
Yep.
So we should really consider, doing something about it, like going out there and stopping him from attacking Haven and helping out and protecting those humans.
Yeah. He had everyone on his side until he suggested that. And then everyone's a little bit more reticent. But the crowd was still kind of with him at that point. And I'll get into this in a bit, but yeah, it's a good speech. And,
Mm-hmm.
credit to the voice actor, delivers it well, actually has the character have some charisma in. You see why he
Yeah,
was the leader, because he does have the charisma to pull it off. So,
yeah.
good job,
He,
that
he
guy.
goes on about like, I was the previous leader of the White Fang, and then I left it to Sienna Khan. And Sienna Khan, I don't agree with all of her methods, but her heart's in the right place.
Hmm.
Of she wants equality, and that's kind of what we should be striving for, not whatever the heck this is. And Ilya gets yeah,
So this was why the plan wasn't going to work, huh? Because Ilya's going to jump in and be a fucking whiny brat about the whole thing? That's her big plan for how to derail this whole thing?
yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good plan, but okay.
This nobody who shouts about how unfair it is versus the person who everybody in the entire town pretty much respects.
Mm-hmm. Not to mention, she's having this little shit fit in Menagerie where Faunus don't really interact with humans that much, and presumably a lot of the people there were raised on Menagerie.
Yeah,
Um, so they don't have the direct exposure to, humans are bad, all of them are bad, everything's evil, as perhaps she did with her backstory that we got in a trailer. So
I swear.
it really does come off as bratty teenage whining, which she is a teenager still.
Yeah.
And then, like, from an adult's perspective, hi, um,
Hello.
this does just come off as bratty. Like, racial tensions, yes, but this everyone who disagrees with me has to die thing just seems incredibly immature.
Yeah. And
So this did not make anyone come off well, including Adam. This little hissy fit that she's throwing there.
yeah, and if it ends up being somewhat effective, I guess some people are susceptible to be like, oh yeah, screw those humans, but at the same time, she does not have the charisma of Gira,
Of Gira. Thank you for saying Gira. Yeah.
of Cat Daddy.
This was something that someone in the comments brought up, and that's Adam has not been. He hasn't demonstrated the same kind of charisma. Like, we keep getting told.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was a discussion in the previous episode, comments about this.
Yeah, I saw it.
We keep getting told how popular Adam is. That he's, drawing a lot of the organization to his side, to the point where he can have the inner circle, the, I suppose, royal guards type of people in the organization immediately turn on their leader. Like, presumably the most loyal people in the organization to Sienna had turned traitor for Adam.
Everything about Adam is just pretty much tell, don't show.
Yep.
Which is...
It's not good because part of the character is that he's persuasive and is getting people on his side, and we see a lot of him being really good at the murdering. That's great. We need to see him being good at the convincing people and being charismatic like Gira showed. Like, there has been an instance where they could have done that, which was the second season where they had the Faunus rally that Blake infiltrated. They could have had Adam be there giving a speech, but they had Lieutenant guy who doesn't get a name do that instead. I think he got a fan name later or something. The guy with the chainsaw. You remember him? Maybe. Yeah, that's the thing. He was a completely pointless character that didn't really do anything important, but he gets the big dramatic speech instead of the guy that's supposed to be charismatic and popular and leading the split factions running this whole shit show.
Yeah.
So, for the sake of that reveal that they wanted at the end of the second season, that was still kind of a letdown regardless, they undermined part of his character, and if he's just left with an informed character trait of, yeah, he's super great and popular and charismatic and everyone loves him.
I mean, they could have even just when he went and killed Sienna Khan, they could have had him deliver some sort of speech or something, or gather the members of the White Fang, and that you could be like, okay, I can see why he's able to get this far. Instead, it's really nothing that we're given, and it's a bit frustrating.
I can see why, from a Doylist perspective, of why they decided, hey, we're not going to have this guy try and deliver a speech, because I talked up the voice actor for Gira, saying, yeah, he did a great job, and he, came across very charismatic and pulled off the wise leader character. I don't think Adam Garrett Hunter has the same kind of range of acting.
Yeah,
talent.
I think he has one way of talking with Adam, and that's
this voice, the one where he's kind of smug but also kind of mocking.
Yeah,
and he uses this voice all of the time.
It's the kind of thing that bothered me about Cinder when we were first introduced to her.
Yep.
Granted, Cinder's improved, I would say. I mean, considering we got to see her kind of just angry and panicked
Hmm.
just even this season alone already, which is a very different type of way she's actually spoken
Hmm.
in comparison to previous times. So there is improvement that can be seen, but I don't know if Adam's like got enough screen time or even enough. Like I don't think the actual voice actor for Adam has had enough time to play Adam. If that makes sense.
Kind of.
But I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think he's very good as a voice actor. I've
Yeah,
said this about other voice actors, and maybe I am a little bit quick to judge in that, and I cop to that. Maybe I'm being a little judgmental and unfair. But he hasn't shown me anything that tells me he would be very good at playing the charismatic leader at any
yeah.
point.
I don't know. We could be surprised, but at the present moment, there's really nothing there for us. I seriously thought that Gira was going to get assassinated.
Yeah, I thought they had something for that
Yeah,
moment, but no, they just basically unraveled everything Adam has done because they just told everyone, "Hey, Adam's planning on overthrowing Sienna Khan and possibly murdering her. So yeah, that's bad, and we should try and do something about that." And now Adam has murdered Sienna Khan and has taken over the organization. So yeah, that's kind of fucked him a little bit because now he's going to say, I'm the new leader of Sienna, wanted me to take over and be super great. And everyone's like, no, she fucking didn't, you lying piece of shit. You just fucking killed her, didn't you? Holy shit. This is a goddamn coup.
yeah. Uh, I swear, I thought like Ilya was going to show up like camouflaged with her chameleon, whatever, stab him through the back with like her whip or something that extends and shoots out, and then just run away, and then it becomes a chase scene.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. They had way more on that scroll than I thought they would have. I thought it was just going to be like, yeah,
Yeah,
Adam's doing some weird shit and we're
they
not
had
like.
everything.
Yeah, they had literally everything. And Ilya had the audacity to say, your plan's not going to work. I don't know. I
Yeah.
yeah, I got I don't know what that was supposed to be, but it didn't.
Mm. Well, moving past that,
And
yeah,
then some Faunus person says, "Get after her" or something, and he has a name in the credits apparently. So maybe that guy's important. That guy with the one line.
yeah. I didn't see anybody move to go after her, so
Hmm.
I don't know. I guess somebody did.
Yeah. So
Um,
the next bit was, I think we go back to Ruby and Co.
yeah,
The
they're
next
all
bit.
like, oh, they're all like gathered around little Aussie boy, and they're all like, so is he like possessed? Is it reincarnation? How's this work? Did he de-age? And Crow's like, just give him some space.
Yeah,
Uh,
this is awkward for. Let's just remember that this is kind of a weird situation for everyone. All
so
of them just sort of
it,
back up.
yeah, so we get some Oscar over here talking about how like he just this is all kind of weird for him too, and then Crow's like do that parlor trick, and then he's like, and then all of a sudden he's Ozpin, and he's speaking like Ozpin.
Credit where it's due. They didn't just replace the voice.
Yeah, I
They do
know.
have the dual layer voice sometimes, but it's only sometimes.
Yeah,
And they actually had the voice actor for Oscar do an Ozpin voice, and I
and
really appreciate that because so few
yeah,
shows do that.
it was really good, and it made sense.
Mm.
Like his whole like the animation, it changes his entire like
Yep.
movement, how he just moves around,
His
as
facial
well as
expression, his eyes
yeah,
change.
his and then his the way he speaks, and like the voice actor did a really good job here, and
Yeah.
I'm really like
It's almost perfect. Like I
yeah,
did notice, like the T's were a little softer than they should be because Ozpin was always rather perfectly spoken and didn't uh, glottal stop on T's the end of words
mm,
like Oscar tends to do. but that's the only thing I saw wrong with it, and that's me
Yeah,
just picking at things that really shouldn't be
that's
picked at.
that's just such a minor thing, and you can
Yeah,
attribute that to basically the way Oscar speaks, kind of still melding a little bit with
yeah,
Ozpin.
absolutely. Like it was fantastic, and
Yeah,
almost makes me want to say, "Hey, why don't more shows do this?" But some voice actors just can't do impressions that well of
yeah.
other.
So
But good job to Oscar's
yeah,
voice actor, whose name again I don't know. I really should look these
really
up
good
before I do
job.
these. Mm.
So Ozpin explains. Yeah. So this has been going on for a long time, where I will die. My soul gets moved into a like-minded person, and my soul fuses with them. They gain all my memories and experience, and it's all like I'm a long series of people trying to save Remnant, because I was cursed by the gods for failing to stop Salem a long time ago. Essentially, is what he explains.
Raises the question of which gods, because we have actually had one creation myth where there were gods, and they actually didn't see eye to eye, and one of them actually supported Salem. So,
Hmm. Yeah, but he's supposed. I guess he's like the equivalent of a legendary hero, I guess. But he failed in his quest to stop Salem,
hmm.
and so he spent a long time just trying and trying again, but failing. And this also kind of contextualizes Salem's really old, like ancient evil.
Hmm.
So lots of good information to have going forward.
Yeah, and we get confirmation that Ozpin is absolutely onto Lionheart and say, yeah, he's going against things I told him to do,
Yeah,
and actions that
all
he's
the
supposed to take in the event of my death, he is not taking, and that is not okay. So
yeah,
something's hinky, and I want to know what's going on.
all the leaders of the schools are my lieutenants. Basically, I'm running the whole thing. But and I left them all very specific instructions for what to do if I die. Uh, he's not Leo over there is not falling through. So something we should be suspicious of that.
Hmm. And in the meantime, while we prepare for whatever we're going to do, whatever plan we plan to enact,
Yeah.
I feel like some training is in order.
Ruby, you suck at hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
Sean, you still don't have a semblance. I'm very
Yeah.
surprised by that.
I
And you other
I saw
two,
a fun theory video on that of what Jean's semblance is. And it's actually a good theory. Polarity.
yeah, I saw that video too.
Yeah, it's a
Of
pretty good theory.
yeah,
Like
I
thematically, it really works.
thematically it really works, but you never know with Ruby.
Hmm.
Uh, he doesn't point out the flaws of Nora and Ren.
Because they're not established enough to have any,
Yeah, yeah,
and they're not important enough to even bother with anymore. So
yeah. That character arc's complete, guys. Didn't you see the last 3 episodes of the last season
Mm.
where they
It
did
was
their
very in
entire
depth as a character arc.
they did their entire character arc in like 3 or 4 episodes.
Hmm. Oh well.
This is what we feared would happen at the end of season 4, where it would just kind of get shoved to the side. Nora's not developed beyond her typical jokey attitude, and it still kind of clashes tonally with the rest of everything.
Yep. Also, wasn't she supposed to be Thor?
Yeah, something like that.
Where does being an orphan street rat come into being Thor?
Maybe she has a long lost brother who is an Atlas.
Hmm.
His name is Loki. No.
Yeah, that was weird. I only recently realized that when I saw a fic that was like, hey, she has family, and they're like a crime family in Mistral or something. Yeah. It was an interesting idea of actually having her character base be important and relevant and actually give her something to do after season 4, but
Yeah, and then Ren, I think he said one thing.
He does.
I think in the beginning he might in the thing where they're like possessed, haunted. I think he suggests one thing just so they can have him say something. But I think that's the only thing he actually says, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So Ozpin is like, yeah, you guys still need training, and Oscar doesn't actually know how to fight, really. I mean, I do, and my skills will pass to him eventually, but he doesn't have the muscle memory, he doesn't have the
yeah.
muscles.
If we
And
build up his strength and skill, then my muscle memory will eventually become his muscle memory, and he'll just get that sudden boost. But right now, if we want to get that to happen faster, we need to train him.
and while he's saying all of this, he is constantly spinning his cane,
Yeah,
just round and round and round and round and round.
I was the professor for a reason, or the headmaster for a reason. I can
Like
do
he
things.
he just keeps going with that while he's
Yeah.
talking for like a good 90 seconds. And yeah.
Then he essentially just is like time's up, switches over, and Oscar falls backwards straight onto his butt out of the
Of
chair,
course.
and he's like, "Oh, this is gonna be fun."
Mm.
Oh, so they're gonna have their training arc of 1 month, and as we know from all my Japanese animes, 1 month is strong enough to become the strongest ever. No, it's
Well,
strong enough to master the spirit shotgun.
sure, why not?
Yu Yu Hakusho. He had that whole 1 month of training before. Did a lot for him.
I mean, it's weird that they pointed out Ruby not being good at hand to hand. I don't see her ever being particularly good at that, ever. It doesn't seem to fit a character type very well.
Yeah. Well, if you're hitting somebody with it and then you kick somebody and then you can combo, I guess,
Mm.
is the because she swings her scythe around, and so it would make really good combos if you could add kicks and maybe punches and grabs into it.
That's a really big scythe. I think the point of having a big scythe like that is that people can't really get that close to you. But,
Yeah.
whatever.
Uh, but apparently, we have to worry about if you lose that scythe, you're basically helpless. Is also
Yeah.
a thing. So
Also true.
you're probably going to lose that scythe in the coming battles multiple times because people strong enough to knock it out of your hands will appear.
Yeah. So after that scene, we move to Weiss. Yeah, we don't do anything with Yang this episode. So it's Weiss in a cage.
Yeah. And boy, is that a metaphor for her whole life.
No, it's not.
Weiss in a cage.
At least in this instance, it's not.
So she's in a cage, and she's like, "Hey, they're gonna ransom her." They basically say, "Yeah, we're gonna ransom you." Normally we'd have you like join us or something, but or work for us.
We have Bandit 1 and Bandit 2. That's literally their credits in this. Yeah, random guy in the furnace saying, "Hey, get her," gets a name. These guys are just Bandit 1 and Bandit 2, and they got way more lines, but whatever. They're
I'll
like,
always remember you, Bandit 2.
It's so good. It's a schnee, yay! And someone's like, "Shut up!" And it's like, "Vernal," and I'm like, "Really?" They named the Spring Maiden Vernal. Vernal means spring, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah.
Little on the nose, don't you think?
Well, hey, that's just how it is. I mean, if your name's like, I don't know, Cinder Fall, you might get some powers.
Yeah, I guess, they did call a fall, didn't they?
Yeah.
That means Winter is absolutely going to be the Winter Maiden, isn't she?
Probably.
This actually might confirm one of those stupid theories you had while we were watching the show back. that Summer was one of the maidens and that Winter is going to be, or is currently, one of the maidens. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. Oh my god, this is so dumb.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So yeah, Vernal is here now, and she's apparently badass enough to cow those two Bandit 1 and Bandit 2 immediately.
Weiss's sword.
Yep. She's playing with it.
And she's like, yeah, we're going to ransom you.
Sword. Look at the pretty colors.
Yeah. Murder and Aster. So Weiss is like, well, if I don't arrive in Mistral, my sister Winter is there, and she's going to be so upset. And then they all laugh, and they're like,
trouble.
They all laugh, and they're like, girl, they already left. They got recalled. You ain't got nobody. And she's like, oh, man. It's basically how that conversation goes.
Pretty much. And I think there was a bit of a cut in the scene, and something else happened, but it's something we've already covered.
Yeah.
And we come back to Weiss, and she is sitting in her cell and playing with her stand. It's just something. She
summons a little guy, and he's got his sword, and she's like, you can cut my ropes and get me out of here. It's a little figure. And so she's obviously going to try to use him to cut her ropes so she can get out.
Yeah.
Because she still has that power. So, it's a good power.
That's pretty much a thing. They haven't actually established any way you can shut off someone's semblance at any point in the show. So
if you have a really strong semblance, it's like say if they had Pyrrha locked in a metal cage, that would not work.
Yeah, some people are pretty much impossible to capture, probably.
Yeah. I mean, if you were to lock Ruby in a metal cage, she could run at it. Probably hit her head.
It would depend on how her semblance worked, but if she could run around the metal fast enough to heat it, perhaps? I don't know how her semblance works, in which case it would weaken the metal and she'd be able to actually open it that way. But that might actually be playing a little too much anime physics into this.
Yeah, that's too much Flash. Yeah.
Yeah, but that is the thing that is interesting about the setting. There is no cancel button on the magic bullshit. Like, even One Piece did that eventually. They came up with 2 in One Piece, actually. So
it's like, well, you can't hit these guys made of fire, so now you can hit them with this special technique we call hockey.
Well, before that, you can hit them with this special stone.
Yeah, or before that, you can throw them into the sea.
Well, you couldn't really throw them in the sea because it's made of fire. You can't really throw fire. Well, you could throw fire if you're made of fire, but anyone else is kind of shit out of luck. Anyway, yeah, I thought that was an interesting detail that, yeah, they've pretty much written themselves into a corner if ever they want to do that in the future. Because if anyone would have had something like that, it would probably be these guys. Or Atlas, or literally anyone else.
Yeah.
But no one imprisoned has actually been stopped from using their semblance at any point.
I mean, it could always be a plot point where, like, say, Atlas develops it, and then things start to go awry.
That actually is reasonable, because they have been working on technology to do with souls and aura and such. So that would absolutely be a thing they would be at least in line to possibly invent.
Yeah, but it can't already exist in this world, because it would make no sense. It would break everything.
Yeah.
Overall, this episode was pretty good, I guess, except for a lot of minor things. Well, not minor, pretty major.
The Blake bit, well, the Gira bit, technically, was surprisingly satisfying in how it really didn't go how I was expecting it to go.
Yeah.
Like, that was genuinely surprising. Like, Ilya just looks like a moron at this point.
Yeah, it was a bit upsetting that Ilya just looked like a complete fool.
Yeah. Accomplished nothing. despite her bravado.
Mm.
Mm.
And I liked the Oscar and Ozpin stuff. That was
Yeah,
really good,
that
really
was
well
fun.
done.
And again, that was really cool seeing someone doing a send up of Shannon McCormick's voice acting. That was really cool too. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention there was one voice actor that I did actually check the name of, and that's Amber Lee Connors is voicing Vernal.
Mm.
It's 18.
Yeah. Gosh darn it. Uh,
So
well,
get the number of that bitch.
there's a lot of references that can be made here. So, yeah, good episode. The whole stuff with Ilya was kind of dumb.
It was dumb, but it was it was
yeah,
just dumb.
I guess it was at the same point. It was kind of satisfying.
Gira's speech was great.
Yeah,
That was a well written speech as well.
it was well written speech. It was well acted.
Yep.
Again, it made us bring the Adam comparison again, which is going to be not so great going forward.
Yeah, it's an ongoing problem. I don't think it's going away. But
yeah, I don't think it's going away.
It's entirely possible, though, that that's all just going to fall apart immediately based on this.
Yeah.
So, that'd be a cool turn.
Weiss is...
I look forward to Hazel just being like, well, you kind of brought this on yourself, dumbass. I told you not to do this.
And Weiss is still in prison, and she's going to break out, and it's going to be cool, I guess. Yang's going to show up. It doesn't... I don't think... I'm not sure if Team Ranger is still going to the bandit camp, though.
They will be eventually, because they kind of have to, because they know the other side are doing something, and they have a sneaking suspicion that that information is now in the enemy's hands. I'll be honest, the first two I expected to meet were definitely not Yang and Weiss. That is throwing me for a loop, but...
Yeah. So I'm guessing what's going to happen is Team Ranger's going to train for a month, and Blake and whatever White Fang people, or not White Fang, but whatever people from Menagerie she can get together are going to head over to Haven to try to stop the attack on Haven, where they're going to meet up with Ruby and her team. In the meantime, Yang's going to meet up with Weiss.
Yeah. Blake is basically going to be doing prep for next season, this season. Ruby and Co. are going to be prepping for going to the bandit camp. Yang and Weiss are going to be at the bandit camp doing whatever they're doing. Which I'm not entirely sure what that consists of at this point. I have no idea what the plans are for their characters.
Well, I guess we'll just have to find out.
But it was a good episode.
Yeah.
Really good one.
I enjoyed it. And I think that's about it. Any other notes or tidbits?
Really good episode in this instance, because, like, in the previous episode, technically it was a very good episode. But in this case, it was both technically a good episode and also just story-wise just a good episode. Like, structurally and doing interesting things with the characters.
Well acted. Yeah. Well acted, too. Yeah. So that was RWBY, Volume 5, Chapter 3, Unforeseen Complications.
Thank you for getting the name. Yay. Appreciate it.
So, see you guys next time.
Yeah. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week. Oh, and I should point out, it should be obvious by now, I'm not using clips from the new episodes, because obviously that's a really, really dumb thing to do. Like, it's not even on YouTube yet. I am not that much of a dick, so I'm not going to do that. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week with a new...
Yeah.
Also, Kaji comes back on Friday. Woo.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.